Hello, it's me, R.R. Lee, and welcome back to 428 Shibuya Scramble. Let's see if Achi Endo has a decent alibi. You all saw him nod in the last one. He definitely is a part of a criminal syndicate. Is that his back, or am I gonna have to blur stuff? What is okay? He's wearing pants. Good, that is him. I was gonna say, I was a bit worried there. What have you got, Endo? Achi Endo called out the door to his father's room. Okay, I'm heading out. Sure. His father sounded unconcerned. He didn't even open the door. Sure you don't want me to stay here in the shop? It's not like we're gonna get any customers. Achi grimaced. Yeah, I guess not. That's so depressing. The drawer by the front door held a stack of heavy-duty trash bags. Achi pulled a few of them out. Guess it's gonna be that kind of day. He stuffed the trash bags into his pocket, then slipped on his favorite pair of sneakers. The entryway to Achi's home also led into the family shop. Various pieces of electronics were piled up like so much junk in the tiny retail space. The slightest bump brought the risk of an avalanche of savings. Achi wove his way through the gaps in the appliances like a spelunker exploring a cave. I hope not one of those small, tight caves. From Shibuya Station, if you make your way past the 109 building, then up through Dogenzaga, you'll come across an old shopping district where the only shop nestled in its outskirts is Indo Electronics, in the same place it's been for decades. Within its dimly lit interior, you'll find rows of wares, all caked in dust, only the highest quality dust. At glance, you may as well assume the place was closed, with the lights on. A mom-and-pop place like Indo's couldn't compete with the big consumer chains booming throughout Shibuya. So far, the store had remained in business thanks to the locals who appreciated that they made house calls to do repairs. But things weren't looking good for the future. Achi, the eldest son and nominal successor to the business, had no interest whatsoever in working there. Achi stepped out of the shop and into the sunny morning air. The good weather lifted his spirits and also increased the music value. Alrighty, time to do this. He unfurled one of the big garbage bags, which caught the wind and fluttered like a cape. Then he slowly made his way towards Shibuya Station, scanning his surroundings all the while. Jeez, this place is filthy! He paused to pick up a plastic bottle that had been tossed onto the ground. Then, with a heavy sigh, he slipped the crushed receptacle into his trash bag. What an upstanding young man. The ECO on his shirt stands for Executive Cleaning Officer, as you saw before. That's what ECO stands for. Executive Cleaning Officer. He's been cleaning up trash around town like this for about 6 months now, so his recycling is his hobby. He gets up in the morning, takes a deep breath, and yells, "I love recycling!" from the rooftops where he sleeps, and then he starts his day. How energetic. It had gotten so that the sort of garbage most people would hardly notice stood out to him like a sore thumb. Most days he'd fill his trash bag to the top by the time he made it from his house in Dogenzaga to the train station. Today, he was halfway to the station when a woman's anxious voice caught his attention. I'm sorry. I'm in a bit of a hurry here. He looked up and saw a timid-looking woman being confronted by two men, one with brown hair and one with black. That is the most noticeable thing about these two people. From the look of them, he guessed they were men? That they were the men? That the men were scouts for some hostess club. He ran into this sort of thing pretty frequently on his trash collecting walks around town. Another kind of trash to take care of, Pops Knuckles. Achi quickly interposed himself between the girl and the two recruiters. Hey, can't you see that you're bothering her? Huh? Who the hell are you? The two men glared, and both said at the same time. Take a hike, pal. Achi stood his ground. Look, she ain't interested. You're just gonna have to find some other mark. The hustler's annoyance turned into rage. Well, listen to you. Got a bit of a mouth, huh, buddy? The brown-haired thug smacked his lips around, chewing his gum like a dog worrying a bone. That's a verb to describe that. How about we take this place? How about we take this someplace more quiet, yeah? What this means can depend on the person speaking. To a young woman, let's go someplace more quiet might suggest a cafe or a park or somewhere else, wink wink. But to a street punk, it might mean an alley where passerby are unlikely to interrupt, wink wink. The girl stood by uneasily, watching the going-ons. Hey, take it easy. I'm not looking for trouble. Is that supposed to be an apology? On your knees and beg, pal. Kick him in the dick. The man spat his gum onto the ground. You better pick that up. Achi looked down at the glistening wad of gum on the sidewalk. His last shred of goodwill vanished. I can tolerate you catcalling women and putting them on edge, but littering? You're going down. You better pick that up right now. What? Didn't you hear me? 'Cause I told you to get down on your knees and back. Achi's hand shot out, grabbing the man by the jaw. Whoa, easy, pal. The other man's bravado drained from his face. As you can see reflected in the piece of gum, Achi tightened his grip on the brown-haired hustler's jaw. Sweat dripped from the man's reddening brow. The man struggled, but Achi just tightened his grip like the demigod he was. Gum's a real pain in the ass to clean up after it's gotten stuck to the street, you know? Ever stop to consider that? No, actually. Wait, are you? The other hustler's panic eyes had fixed on Achi's chest. Oh, crap! You're actually serious! That shirt, man! The guy's voice was starting to break. That's mean clean! A guy with a mean clean shirt carrying around a trash bag. That means you're... His face went pale. The other man echoed the words through his held-shut jaw, tears welling up in his eyes. Get it right, pal. Achi clenched the man's jaw harder still. Man, how small is this guy's jaw now? It's like, jeez, it's gotta be a 1 on the character creation scale now. That's mean clean. We're sorry, man. You're Achi, right? Dude, we honestly had no idea. Come on, man, you gotta cut some slack. The man scrambled to snatch the wad of gum off the street, stuffing it into his pants pocket, sticky. Finally, Achi let go of his companion. The brown-haired hustler's face was twisted up with fear, tears streaming down his cheeks. Gasping out hasty apologies, the two thugs scampered off. Hey, so? A shy smile came on the girl's face. Why is the word girl a tip? Oh, okay, it's because she's named, alright. Ryoko Kakinuma, a second-year student at Meteorama Academy's law school. These hustlers managed to corner her while she was on her way to her part-time job at a cafe. It's a popular plot in trashy e-novels for the main character to fall in love with a hustler like these guys, but such things rarely happen in real life. They all girls go for guys that recycle. That's the real trope right there. Thank you for saving me. No, I apologize. Huh? The girl stared in surprise. You'll run into creeps like that now and then, but don't hold it against us. Shibuya's a good town. Yeah, okay. Achi gave her a quick wave and then turned and continued on his way down Dogenzaka. Achi was Shibuya born and raised. He was keenly aware of all the changes the ward had seen since he was a kid. Grocery stalls, inconspicuous little side streets, tiny parks nestled between buildings. Achi knew it all like the back of his hand. Trash, human or otherwise, had no place in this town, not on his watch, and not on his road. Achi made his way down towards Shibuya Station. Throngs again of people shuffled to and fro across the Scramble. The view shifted constantly from one moment to the next, almost as if the city itself were alive. And if the city was a living thing, then Shibuya Station was its heart, with the streets like Bokakumarodori, sorry, that's an R, and center guys serving as the arteries pumping a bloodstream made of people. Well, that's all, people of blood, yeah, you get it. Today, as ever, the heart was pumping that blood to every nook and cranny of Shibuya. And there was Achi, just another part of this great urban organism. Guess I'm one of the city's white blood cells. Or wait, maybe I'm a red blood cell. Hold on, I failed science. Is that right? Or did I have it right the first time? White blood cells eliminate pathogens from the bloodstream. Red blood cells carry oxygen throughout the body. Achi was probably thinking of white blood cells. Good on Achi. Emerging from his Riviera, he noticed a rather conspicuous young woman standing by the statue of Hachiko outside Shibuya Station. What a conspicuous girl. Oh, she's totally my type. Wink, wink. To be up someone's alley. To be someone's cup of tea. Wink, wink. Wonder if she's a model or a small-time actress or something. Looks like she's waiting for someone. Probably another guy, dang. Good looking as she was, there's no way she wasn't already taken. What kind of guy scored a girl like that? Probably some rich-ass CEO of an IT company or something. Crouching down to tie off the trash bag, he continued gazing wistfully at the girl. Then he noticed something peculiar. She was carrying an attaché case, the kind a businessman might use. It was a large case, and apparently so heavy that she was struggling to hold on to it despite using both hands. Now what kind of a person makes a young lady lug something heavy like that? Achi figured he'd offer to carry it for her. But first, I gotta dump this trash. He looked around to see if there was a garbage bin nearby. We've reached a decision point. Let's have Achi not approach Hitomi. Use this and then select with the button that's not highlighted. Well, this will be a bad end, right? This is just gonna. Is this gonna end like with just the world blowing up? Let's continue the story. It'd be funny to do this, but let's continue the story. But first, I gotta dump this trash. He looked around, see if there was a garbage bin nearby. Now Achi won't approach Hitomi, which means he will avoid being arrested by Kano, and at the same time, Kano's fate will also change, and he will no longer wind up at a bad end. So let's switch back to Kano's story. Using the time chart. Press triangle to open it. Okay. Oh, this button is actually the correct one. Oh, cool. The other ones aren't mapped right. This is the time chart. It shows the protagonist's progression. Through the story, decision points are marked with it. Kano's fate has changed based on Achi's actions. Select Kano's 1030 block, then press E. Kano! It's 10:30 now! What are you doing? A suspicious man. Better not be doing any suspicious guys, Kano. You've got a job to do. I suppose I could call it that. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is! Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. Oh, that... The one foreigner in Japan. It was him. Of course it was him. The man in the black coat. Oh, wait, sorry. The man in the black coat. He's not Japanese. He looks to be in his early 30s. Previously, Achi got mixed up with Kano and the police, but now another man has appeared instead. By changing what Achi did, you've also changed Kano's story. A foreign man had emerged from the crowd, about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He made his way toward her, his expression blank. Okay, they were sprinkled out 50 feet. There were 50 detectives, 50 feet spread out. So how did he get 15 feet without anyone noticing before? How blind is everybody? He didn't match the description Hitomi had given them, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper was using an accomplice to snatch the ransom payment. All right, Sasayama raised an eyebrow. This may be our guy. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. Why did he leave it there? He bent his knees ready for action. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, vanishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Was it the culprit? Was this the culprit? Or perhaps a creepy old guy hitting on a young woman? The stranger took hold of the attaché case. It was him! In mass, the detectives began to close in. Let's go, Kano. On it! Sasayama and Kano leapt into action, but they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man veered suddenly, running right toward them! Keep out. He was coming right for him! Kano's story has suddenly hit a keep out. Keep out refers to keeping out, a point of the story where your progress is currently stopped. In order to advance beyond a keep out, you need to jump from another protagonist's story. At 10:30, Achi has the text, young man in a suit, set as red keywords. Checking these red keywords will allow you to jump from Achi's story back to Kano's, of course. Now, head back to Achi's story and keep an eye out for that red word, that key phrase. You got it, boss. Try following the story from Achi at 10:30. Approach the girl? Question mark? Approach the girl? Well, I already selected that one. Is it going to continue from that? Because last time we jumped to Kano from doing this, right? But first, I gotta dump this trash. He looked around to see if there was a garbage bin nearby. Huh? A man had come up beside the girl. He was dressed in black, and he wasn't Japanese. It looked like they were having a conversation. Yep, that's a conversation, all right. The girl nodded tensely at something the man said. Achi stared. Something tells me that's not her boyfriend. Call me crazy. The girl handed the attaché case over to the man. He took hold of it with his right hand and began walking briskly away. Off into the sunset. Whoa! A nearby homeless man suddenly leapt over Achi and broke into a run as if he'd been waiting for this very moment. I wonder what a homeless man is. Yuji Sasayama, a detective with the Shibuya precinct, known as the cosplay detective due to the strange outfits he wears while on stakeouts. He's partnered with Shinya Kano for the kidnapping investigation. Sprinting alongside him was a young man in a suit. Read keynotes, important keywords that allow you to jump between different protagonist stories. This allows you to shift between characters at specific points. These also allow you to clear or keep out in another character's story and let you read on. If you come across red text, please press the correct button now. Okay. And a window will appear allowing you to jump from one protagonist to another at that point. Then press X to continue the other character's story after the keep out. Give it a try. Jump. Off to you, Kano. By performing a jump at this screen, you can advance another protagonist story past the keep out. Press X to confirm and jump to Kano's story. I wonder what happens next. Let's go, Kano! On it! Sasayama and Camo leapt into action. Not Camo, Kano. Kano, you did it. Jump successful in 428. You will often need to jump to get past another character's keep out. Jump from red keywords to clear a keep out. Keep this in mind as you advance through the story. Okay, there won't be any more tutorial messages for a while. If you get stuck somewhere, try changing the protagonist or making different decisions to advance. You can now use the time chart at main menu. From the main menu, you can access gameplay from explorations from good. But they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man suddenly veered, running right toward them. What? Catching the sight of the two detectives, the suspect staggered to a halt, then bolted off in a new direction. Kano whipped off his costume glasses and followed in hot pursuit. I was wondering what that banana was. At the crosswalk, the signal changed to red and the flow of foot traffic abruptly halted. Just as quickly, hundreds of cars all lurched back into motion. There was no escape for the culprit now, or so it appeared. The converging cops slowed their pace, confident their man was cornered. Then the foreigner barreled straight into the intersection, dodging between oncoming cars without any hesitation. Crazy what people do for money. The mob of detectives came to a halt, not eager to rush to their deaths along with him. Kano, however, remained in hot pursuit, charging into the traffic at the crossing. Kano, are you crazy? Come back! Kano heard Sasayama shouting, but his feet kept carrying him onward. Ouch. Oh, I thought that was actually a collision. With shouts and sirens echoing all around him, Kano closed in on the foreigner. Just a little closer, and he'll be in tackling range. He leaned forward, preparing to pounce, his eyes fixated on the culprit's feet. It was now or never. Kano, back off. Don't take him down. Oh.
Kano, back off. Don't take him down.
It was Kuze, shouting through Kano's earpiece. Huh? Kano hesitated in surprise. Had he really just been ordered to not apprehend the criminal?
Let him go for now. The real Perp is someplace else.
Perp is police jargon for perpetrator. Here, Kuze is referring to the fact that the principal offender in the case must be elsewhere. What had happened to the plan? Why had I been here all this time? He had been told all the personnel were to secure the area ASAP. Didn't HQ want them to catch the perpetrator? Well, yeah, they'll lead you to where the guy is.
Arrest team, stay on the foreigner's tail.
Police team dedicated exclusively to the task of apprehending the criminal. You see, it's not your job, Kano. That's why you're not a part of the task force. While a kidnapping case is in progress, the roles of the officers involved are carefully designated so that every officer is ready to take immediate action as the situation develops. Typically, tried and true veteran MPD officers are put in charge of teams for breaking into buildings or apprehending the suspect. You're not a part of the arrest team.
Forensics team, get busy cross-referencing photos.
Team deployed by the MPD to handle the actual test and techniques of on-site investigation, such as collecting and comparing fingerprints and analyzing photos of suspects. Even if this foreigner was only an underling hired for this task, the police had now tipped their hand that they had been lying in wait. If they didn't lock things down now and get more info on the kidnapper, a girl's life might be at stake. Kano recalled another maxim from his dick diary. Wow, it's really full. Dictum number 12. Always assume a worst case scenario. Kano became blurry. If Kuze had told him to let this guy go, that implied he was counting on the team that was now in position. But if the crook had planned a way to break through the police dragnet and escape with the ransom, and he succeeded, what was the right call here? Should he take this guy down or back off after all? Letting the perp escape is too big of a risk. He had to catch this guy ASAP. Let the other officers chase after this guy. Kano had his own job to do. Let's go with B. I'm gonna go with B. I'm gonna trust the team. Trust the team. I'm a team player. I'm gonna trust the team. Kuze's instructions had been clear. Let the other officers chase after the guy. Kano had his own job to do. He broke off his pursuit, pointing the next wave of detectives in the direction that the foreigner had fled. Kano had almost gotten close enough to get a good look at the guy's face. But if Kuze had ordered him to let the guy go, well, his boss should know what he was doing. The perp was someone else's problem now. He had just ceased his pursuit when Kuze's panicked voice sounded shrill in his ear.
Eek! Someone's taking a Tommy!
Kano recognized Kuze's trademark squawking immediately.
Subject is male! He appears to be carrying a gun! He's fleeing in the direction of Meiji-dori!
What? Kano could hardly believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped? She had been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? But why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment when the police took their eyes off of her. Something's very wrong here. What in the world is going on? Kano hurried to search for the man who had taken Hitomi. If he was heading towards Meiji-dori, there was a good chance he had gone down one of the alleyways nearby. After darting through side streets, he spotted a different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead with a briefcase. The man was dressed in black, just like the guy who grabbed the ransom money. Kuze's right. The kidnapper wasn't acting alone. But wait, something was amiss. Hitomi wasn't with him. Where is she? Kano skidded around the corner and stopped short. Whoa, jeez, okay. The man in black was standing there, pointing a gun right at him. Before Kano could react, the man fired. And he's dead. Kano felt hot all over, as if he were on fire. And he's dead. All except for his cheek pressed against the asphalt. The palms of his hands, they felt so cold. There was nothing he could do. Nothing, that is, except lie there and watch as his killer turned and walked away. Bad end. Okay. Number 4. Shot by a foreigner. By trying to find the man who'd taken Hitomi, Kano ran into a different criminal, and unfortunately for him, he got shot. Yeah, that's unfortunate is the word. If the criminal hadn't been able to get near Hitomi, she probably wouldn't have been taken. Have Achi make the choice to talk to Hitomi instead at 10:35. Okay. That's what you get for trusting the team, huh? You're like, oh man, I'm sure he's got this. I'm sure he can handle this. Surely he's got this. And it's just like, nope. You follow the orders, you get shot. You get shot and die. You need to be insubordinate if you want to live. What's the right call? Should you take the guy down or back off after all? It's too big of a risk. We have to catch him now. Now, I say. Letting the perp escape now is too big of a risk. He had to catch this guy ASAP. ASAP, I say. The man darted down a narrow alleyway. Sorry, not a hallway, it's outside. Kano ran faster. The man sprinted through the side streets. Evidently, he knew his way around Shibuya pretty well.
Eep! Someone's taking it, Tommy!
Kano recognized Kuze's trademark squawk immediately.
Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Majidori. Wait, what?
Kano could hardly believe it. Is he about to get shot again? Hitomi had been kidnapped? Had she been abducted by whoever taken Maria? But why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment that the police took her eyes off of her. Something's very wrong here. What in the world's going on? Is he about to get shot again? Oh, okay, good. A different dialogue. Kano saw that the road was forked up ahead. The man with the attaché case ran to the left. If the man who had taken Hitomi was heading towards Mejidori, there was a good chance he had gone down one of the alleyways off to the right. Making a snap judgment, Kano told the detective behind him to follow the case snatcher, then turned and headed down the nearest alleyway. After darting through the side streets, he spotted a different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead. Oh wait, am I about to get shot again? The man was dressed in black, just like the guy there. Yep, he wasn't acting alone. Something's amiss. Hitomi's not with him. I'm getting shot, aren't I? I'm getting shot. Oh no, I'm getting shot. And before he could react, he fired. I chose the other option though. What? Hang on. Oh no, I am so cold, so dead. I am death. Becomer of unliving. No. Why? How? Okay, so I have to pick talk to her with Achi, right? So Achi has to talk to him, yes? That's the thing I have to do. Approach the girl is for that one. I'm not gonna jump this time. And then I talk to her with Achi, yes? I believe that's it. I just don't jump. Whoa! A nearby homeless man suddenly leapt over Achi and broke into a run as if he'd been waiting for this very moment. Sprinting along him was a young man in a suit. Then, seemingly from everywhere, a whole bunch of different other guys burst into motion. First one. Then another. A third, a fourth, a fifth. Over a dozen now. What the heck? What the heck? Clearly something big was going down. Were they after the Achi case? Within moments, Achi lost sight of all of them through the crowd. They were the crowd, Achi. With that many people chasing him, the guy with the case was sure to get caught. But wait, what about the girl? Huh? Girl? Where girl? Achi turned back around. The girl was still there, without the case. She was staring in the direction that the man who had taken the case had gone, a worried expression on her face. Achi couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Very wrong. Maybe he should talk to her and ask what's going on. Another crazy day in Shibuya. They had to be shooting a scene for a film on location. Probably a mistake to intrude. No, Achi, don't be that dense. Don't be that dense. Achi couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Maybe you should talk to her and ask what's going on. Yes, you should. But just as he was making up his mind, a middle-aged man in a ratty business suit shuffled awkwardly to her first. He said, "I call dibs." Was there something wrong with one of his legs? He was using a cane to walk, and then one of his hands slipped into his jacket pocket. Achi could scarcely believe his eyes. It was a gun. A revolver? Colt Detective Special, a .38 caliber revolver introduced in 1927 by Colt Manufacturing Company. A classic example of a snub-nosed revolver. As the name implies, the weapon is frequently carried by detectives, narcotics officers, and the like for self-defense. I prefer automatic, to be honest. Just pointing a gun to someone in public with a single fluid motion. The man lifted up the gun and pointed it in the girl's direction. He was aiming right for her head. Huh? The girl had noticed the man with the cane now. Seeing the gun pointed right at her, she froze in fear. Achi didn't hesitate. Breaking into a full run, he tackled the gunman with all his might. Caught off guard. I think that's supposed to be off. Caught off guard. The man sprawled onto the pavement. It's fine, game. I've been mispronouncing words this whole time, so it's fine. I don't mind that. But the would-be assassin kept hold of his weapon and quickly scrambled back onto his feet. Achi knew he had to act fast. He grabbed the ashen-faced girl by the arm and attempted to drag her away. "This way!" he shouted. She just stared at him, uncomprehending, trembling like a startled animal. Animal. "Come on, run!" Finally, the girl snapped out of her daze and gave a fearful nod. "The police box, let's go." No, the police box is probably just right there. Get farther away. Let's just get out of here. Let's just get out of here. The would-be assassin was getting back to his feet. Achi grabbed the girl by the hand. I thought you already had him by the hand, Achi. Run! Without so much as a backward glance, he led her beneath the railway overpass for the Yamamoto line. Yeah, Yamamoto line. They need to get as far away as possible. Fast! Their best bet was to head towards the east side of the station. It was less crowded there, and it would be easier to run. "Don't worry, you can trust me." Dragging the hesitant girl behind him, he took off through the crowd. Why does he still have his bag of trash? Suddenly, it dawned on him that he still had the trash bag in his other hand. Yeah, I noticed before you. You know this thing's gonna be a real pain in the ass. Litters. Achi paused just long enough to toss the trash into a garbage bin as they passed by a park, then took off again. Yeah, I'm about to get killed, but let me take a short break to throw this trash away. Thank you for your understanding, Hitomi. Someone shouted from behind, "Hey, you missed!" "Stop right there!" criminal scum! Achi turned back in alarm to see a stranger charging after them. It was one of the guys from the crowd who had run after the Atachike snatcher. You gotta be kidding me! Now he's chasing us? Hey, is that Kano? Whoever he was young and fit and gaining fast. Realizing the girl could never outrun this guy, Achi stopped abruptly. Shielding her behind him, he turned to face the stranger. So brave, so bold. Why did you run off? Because you were chasing us. The other fellow eyed Achi skeptically. Maybe he was a buddy of the man with the cane. Keeping his guard up, Achi began to back away. Look, just let the girl go. The guy was acting like he knew her. Achi glanced back, but the girl only shook her head wide-eyed. The other man's posture shifted, preparing to lunge. But as Achi braced himself for a scuffle, something came crashing down upon the stranger's head. What? His eyes wobbled and spun in their sockets, and he collapsed in a heap on the ground. And there, standing behind him, was the girl he helped out earlier, the one he saved from the hustlers. Hey, you're the girl from this morning.
Are you okay?
Next to the fallen pursuer's form was a rather thick book. Thick and girthy. She nodded towards it.
He looked dangerous, so I just threw that at him.
Wait, did he drop his book? Wait, that's not his notebook. That's probably like a phone book. Oh yeah, thank you. This saves my bacon big time.
It's the least I could do after the way you helped me earlier.
Sure thing. You should probably get out of here before that guy comes to. Like you said, he's probably dangerous.
Right.
Achi scooped up the heavy book and handed it to the girl, who promptly left the scene. Now we better get out of here. The girl nodded. They started down the street, only to see the man with the cane round the corner a few dozen meters ahead. This is not good. The assassin had spotted them, and he hurried in their direction. Clank, 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 clank. This way. Achi led the girl into a nearby alleyway.
But this is a dead end, the girl said breathlessly.
Like I said, just trust me. Achia! Stopping abruptly, Achi kicked down a wooden plank covering a gap between two buildings, clearing a space that a person could fit through.
See, we can get a way through here. In you go.
The girl just stood there, looking terrified. How could he do that to a piece of wood, she thought. What's the matter, Achi asked. Come on, we gotta hurry!
But
She looked at him, as if he too was about to pull a gun on her.
But I'm afraid of small spaces.
He could hardly blame her. After all, he was just some random guy who had turned up out of nowhere. But this was no time for dawdling. The man with the cane had appeared at the end of the alleyway. If they just stood there, he was going to catch up on them. Okay, sweetheart, hear me out, he said in a rush. The name's Achi. I live in the neighborhood, and I'm not the kind to stand idly by when a girl is being chased by some killer. So please, just trust me, and I'll do my best to keep you safe. He hoped the look in his eyes could convince her he was being on the level. After a painfully long moment, the girl nodded her acceptance. Whew. Right, let's get this started with this. They had paused beside an enormous stack of crates, beverage crates. With a quick shove, Achi knocked the whole pile down, littering, sending it cascading across their pursuer's path. Can you believe this shit, this guy's face says? Now that was a close call. The man with the cane was floundering, struggling to get past the fallen crates. My bad, man, Achi called out. Mind cleaning that up for me? The man scowled back at them and fumbled for his gun. Achi flashed him a wave goodbye, then slipped away between the buildings with the girl. Man, so much is happening. Hurrying down a narrow alley, they emerged in a side street lined with dive bars and clubs. Assuming the man with the cane hadn't given up, he would probably lie in wait on the path back to the main road. Achi decided their best bet was to try and stay inconspicuous rather than risk getting caught on the move. "Guess we can lie low here for a bit," he said. He led the girl to the entrance of a tiny old hostess club. She followed him reluctantly. She followed her life savior reluctantly. Achi flicked the switch inside the front door, and a chintzy chandelier glowed to life. He sat the girl down on a small sofa besides the counter. She gave him a worried look. Achi felt a pang of embarrassment as he realized what she must be thinking. "Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna try any funny business. Someone I used to know run this place. It's not in business anymore, so I figured we're safe here. Stop looking at me like that." The girl chuckled at his evident discomfort. "All right then," she said. "So we good?" "We're good." "Oh, okay, well, good." Achi made a vague attempt to straighten his disheveled clothes. "So how about some introductions? You already introduced yourself, Achi." "I'm Achi Indo, like I said earlier. You can just call me Achi." "Why not Indo? I'd rather say Indo a lot." "I'm Hitomi Asawa." "You can call me Hitomi, I guess." With each new word out of Hitomi's mouth, Achi felt his heart sing. She was charming, personable, just about everything about her was captivating. Achi had never met another girl like her. Achi? What? Is something the matter? You were spacing out there for a bit." Achi shook his head to dispel his daze. "Damn it! This is no time to get all starry-eyed." He needed to think of some way to keep her safe from the guy who was after her. "Have you tried calling the police?" "Look, can you tell me what the heck was going on? Please, I need to know if I'm gonna help you. If I'm gonna continue to help you." Yeah. "Right, okay. I'm not really sure where to begin." Hitomi looked down, lost in thought. Apparently hers was a long story. "All right," she said at last. "I guess I'll just explain things as they happened." "Wait, hold up. That sounds really long. Could you keep it as simple as you can? I mean, I'm not really the sharpest tool in the shed. Complicated explanations ain't exactly my strong suit." "Okay," Hitomi chuckled. "I'll try my best." She got comfortable and then started her story. "So last night, somebody abducted my sister. The kidnapper demanded that I make the ransom handoff personally. He told me to stand by the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya Station at 10 o'clock in the morning to make the exchange. So I did, and I'm sorry, hold up a sec. That went by really fast, and I didn't even press a button to go by. You mind repeating that?" Achi had suddenly lost the thread of the conversation. At times like these, you can press the button to go back and reread what you've already seen. You can also do that to quickly scroll through. Okay, yeah, let's go back. I thought that was intentional, and I wasn't going to, but yeah, let's go back. "And this man came by and took the attaché case with the money, and then afterwards that other guy with the cane turned up and pointed his gun at me, and well, that is very much a brief summary. I have to say she definitely kept her word of keeping it short and simple. Could you say that again, but like simpler?" Huh? Sure. How to make this more simple for Achi? Ah, man. Oh, why is Achi so stupid? Well, that's what she's singing to herself right now, not me. I'm just having trouble following it is all. I mean, you talk for like 5 seconds. I get distracted easy, okay? I mean, is this the plot to some movie or soap opera? No, that's not. Or some kind of hidden camera show? This is real. This really happened. This is based on real events, Achi. The look in Hitomi's eyes was dead serious. She's gotta be telling the truth. What would be the point of lying? And he had seen the attaché case and the gunman himself. How much was the ransom, if you don't mind me asking? Hitomi hesitated. 50 million yen, she said after a moment. Achi gave a whistle of amazement. The detectives told me that it was a typical amount for a kidnapper to ask for. It's plenty, that's for sure. I guess there's good money in that sort of thing, Achi said. Achi said, putting his entire foot in his mouth. As soon as the words were out, he realized his blunder. Sorry, I shouldn't have put it that way. I'm not gonna kidnap you or anything, don't worry. He fidgeted awkwardly, and Hitomi looked away. I'm an idiot, but okay, I think I get this kidnapping thing. So I'm guessing those guys who chased after the guy who took the ransom were undercover cops. He replayed the scene in his head. But then, the kidnapper took the attaché case and ran, right? So if you were empty-handed, why'd that guy with the cane come after you, I'm honestly not sure. I just... Hitomi's words trailed off. This was clearly difficult for her to talk about. I should ask another question. Anyway, we should probably get you to the police as soon as we... No, we can't do that. Sorry, no. Hitomi's tone was resolute. I can't take this to the police. Why not? Achi waited for an answer, but none came. After a long and awkward silence, she stood up from her seat. I really appreciate the help, but I should go now. Bye! She gave Achi a deep bow. Nuh-uh, hold on, what do you mean, go? Go where? He hurried to intervene as she headed for the door. I don't want to cause you any more trouble. I'll figure out the rest on my own somehow. Hey, I said hold on! Hold it! Hitomi ignored him and opened the door, and their argument came to an abrupt halt. Hi, that would cause an abrupt halt, alright. Standing there was the man with the cane, his revolver in hand. Oh wait, are they about to die and I'm gonna have to do another jump? To be continued. Wow. Achi's Indo 10 o'clock story ends here. However, Kano's story is still stuck. Boy, he's unconscious. At a bad end. This is due to one of Achi's decisions. Go back to Achi's decision at point 1035 and change the choices he makes in order to change Kano's fate. That way, Achi's choice can help someone else while his own story remains resolved. The key to getting all the characters through to the end is to go back and change choices for characters that have already made it through the current hour of their story. Interesting. And I will definitely remember all of that next time, because I'm going to leave this one here. I would like to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope you'll enjoy the next one as well. Goodbye. Goodbye.